Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bible reading plan. Today we're in the 7th chapter of the book of Hebrews, which is a book written by someone who was definitely close to the apostles, written definitely to some sort of Jewish gathering, and some people think that this was written to certain priests that had converted to Christianity. Now, in church recently, we've been talking a little bit about prophecies, and we talked this Sunday about how the rock that Moses struck was a prophecy for Jesus, because Jesus, Paul tells us in Corinthians, was that rock. He was that rock was a symbol for Christ, because he's a sturdy foundation for us. And Moses struck the rock once and it poured out water, just as Jesus was struck for us, and blessings poured out from him. And the second time, Moses did not have to strike it, but he only had to speak to it, just as we now, through the striking of Jesus, now can speak to him, now can speak to Jesus and have a relationship with him. And this chapter tells us that in verse 25 that Jesus is now always making intercession for his people, for those who have a relationship with him, for his sheep. Jesus is making intercession to the Father on our behalf because of what he's done, because he's made the perfect sacrifice, because he has paid this penalty for the sin that we cannot pay. And it's like during the fall, this is what Israel was in. This is the predicament. During the fall, when the leaves start falling in autumn, and there's leaves on our yard, and we want to blow them off, and we blow all the leaves away, and the next day the leaves just come right back, and we blow them off, and we're saying, we wish we had, this solution for the leaves in my yard. Or maybe your grass is growing super quick in the summer, and you're saying, I wish I had a solution, because I have to cut this grass day in and day out, every single week. Well, guess what? We in life, we have sin that we need to be that needs to be dealt with, and the people in Israel had sin that they would have to atone for day after day after day, and that's what the high priest was for. He made sacrifices on Israel's behalf, and also he would make sacrifices on his own behalf for his own sin. And we see this guy named Melchizedek in this chapter, and he was mentioned twice before in the Bible. He's a mysterious figure, and he's described as a high priest of the Lord Most High, who is not of the line of Aaron, which is the line of high priests, and he's also a king, the king of Salem, which is the king of a country, and Salem means peace. So he's the king of peace, of the priest of the order of the Most High God, and he's not of the line of Aaron, so he's not a Levite, which is odd because all high priests were to be Levites. But we see the symbolism that this author makes here, that Jesus was the King of Peace. Jesus was the priest of the Most High that made intercession for us to God on our behalf. And he wasn't of the lineage of Levi or the lineage of Aaron. And this author tells us, he says, there have been many priests, and we look back and we can round about, and there was probably 84 priests, around 84 high priests, countless priests, but 84 high priests between Aaron and this time. And he's saying they were all stopped, they were all taken out of duty because of death. But Jesus reigns forever, will be alive forever, and will be a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. This perfect version of Melchizedek, this perfect king, and this perfect sacrifice for us, and this perfect high priest. It's a lot of symbolism here, and the Jews, the people at the time, would have understood this a lot better than we do today. But we can still look and appreciate that this Jesus has come, and Jesus has made the perfect sacrifice for us, and we now have this eternal sacrifice for our sins if we put our faith in Jesus. And he ends this with verse 28. For the law appoints men in their weakness as high priests, but the word of the oath, which came later than the law, appoints a son who has been made perfect forever. And that's the high priest you have in Jesus, a son who has been made perfect forever, who lives forever as the eternal king. You get to rule with him in eternity, with the inheritance of Jesus. And it's just showers of blessings because of what Jesus has done. But thank you for joining me in the Bible reading plan. I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.